Hello, clever people, and welcome to my review for Christopher Robin. So Christopher Robin is based off of the novels and the TV show and basically the whole lore behind Winnie the Pooh, who was a bear who lived in a magical forest with a lot of other animal-like friends like Piglet and Tigger, and he basically fell in love with a boy whose name was Christopher Robin. He was young at the time. And this film follows the story of him when he is an older man and he is busy with his life. He works for a really good company. He was raised in a very harsh way, but he believes that that is why he is as smart as he is. And he's leading his daughter down the same path, and on a weekend where he was supposed to go home and spend time with his family, he has to go to a business meeting. So what happens is that magically Winnie the Pooh comes out of a tree in London, and he's shocked by it, and it doesn't make any sense to him, but as he spends time with Winnie the Pooh, he slowly learns again what it was to be a kid and what it was to basically just do nothing. So Christopher Robin was a movie I was looking forward to. I thought that it looked really sweet, honestly, and I don't remember who the director was, but I think that they had a good director, and the trailers were pretty good, and overall I was just excited for another movie about a CGI bear. Earlier this year you had Paddington 2, which really shined, and from the trailers and from everything else, I was kind of getting a vibe like that, and I was hoping that we'd get another really great animated movie this year. And while Christopher Robin is not great, it certainly is sweet. It's a really kind-hearted movie, and so what it does that not a lot of people are giving it credit for, even though it's really impressive, is the fact that it appeals really to all age groups. Other than teenagers who might think that they're too cool for the movie or something like that, this movie appeals to basically every single demographic. It appeals to younger children, it appeals to middle-aged people, it appeals to older children, it appeals to people who are in the 20 to 40 age range. It appeals to mostly everybody. And it does that by making a movie that is kid-friendly, but not specifically oriented towards kids. This movie is slow-paced. This movie does not have a lot of slapstick humor. It is in there, but that's not really the point of the movie. The movie overall is about its message, which is about being a child. And that's a message that maybe kids don't relate to or they don't get because they currently are a kid, but they will enjoy the movie, they will enjoy the visuals, and they will enjoy seeing Winnie the Pooh, and they will enjoy the bits of slapstick in it and some of the more immature comedy in it. But what they smartly do is that they don't make it so that the immature comedy ruins the rest of the movie. It still has a mature tone to it, and it still has a tone that honestly feel like it's more oriented towards adults, but they still are able to make it kid-friendly by adding in that humor, which is something so rare with kids' movies. Kids' movies struggle constantly with trying to incorporate immature and mature humor, and immature themes and mature themes, and this one does it flawlessly. Unfortunately, the flaws with this movie are pretty fatal. I think that you could have had a much better movie if it wasn't for just a few key elements, and I think one of them was visual. This movie does look very gray, and they probably should have put something on Winnie the Pooh or the other characters to make them stand out from the world, but really they were kind of made like they were toys, which I understand the point behind that and I understand the meaning. They were like stuffed animals, and that was cool, but it really made it so that they kind of just blended in with the gray of the rest of the movie. And really, even Pooh's red shirt, his signature red shirt, didn't stand out here. It just faded in with the rest of the gray in the background. That was one component. Another was the editing. This movie feels really chunky, I guess is what I'd say. It feels very disoriented, and the movie does continue with a good flow. It just feels like it can be fast-paced and slow-paced, and fast-paced and slow-paced. And that does have to do with the fact that they were trying to appeal to both kids and adults. So it's the movie's greatest achievement, and it's also its greatest flaw. It's a double-edged sword, and I'm glad that they did what they did, but that was a bit of an issue with the movie. And the theme is very preachy, and I get that the theme is preachy because it's a kids movie, but the thing is, the theme that they were expressing was not something that kids would relate to. It's a theme about feeling like you're a child again. It's a theme about doing nothing and taking joy in doing nothing and not constantly having to feel productive in your own life to have meaning. And that was a message that really hit me, and I liked it a lot. but it's not a message any kid is going to relate to. They're going to remember the movie for other things, and they'll revisit it when they're older and see those themes, but because of that, that theme did not have to be so preachy, and it did not have to be told straight to the camera in such a preachy way. But I am being a bit too harsh on this movie, because Christopher Robin, in the end, it's just a sweet, kind-hearted movie, and it's a movie that will appeal to a lot of people, and it's making good money at the box office for good reasons. Winnie the Pooh is a beloved character with many people, and they did him justice here. The characters felt like they returned, and the themes were very, very strong. They were different from other kids' movies. This movie, I guess another really good point about it that I didn't think about up until now, is that it is really unique from all other kids' movies that have ever come out, because its theme is very different, its messages are very different, its tone and its pace is very different, and while the movie can feel disoriented at times, and it has flaws with visual representation, it is still a very enjoyable movie. I will give Christopher Robin a 6.75 out of 10. Alright, that concludes my review for Christopher Robin. So, what are your thoughts on this film, or what do you think of Winnie the Pooh as a character? Comment in the comment section below and let me know. I'm Robert Burke, and this has been The Clever Critics. Goodbye.